Please listen carefully.
Well, hello, universe. Welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Summers McKay.
And I'm Kristy Jansen, and we are part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels, which may include TikTok in 2021. But also, we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, walk-worthy, home office-worthy podcast. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd of December, 2020. Hi, Kristy.
Hi, Summers. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm much better after our morning meeting. I think we're both feeling a bit of this like exerted pressure on the end of the year and the fact that we're all going to be taking next week off, and it's a little intense. And there's this Christmas song that I remember when the older kids were kind of like 11, 12, 13, they found a line in this Christmas song very offensive. And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but the line where, and mom and dad can hardly wait for school to start again. Well, I kind of get it because we are like 3 days without childcare so far. And my husband and I are splitting the week. And so I'm working basically Monday, Wednesday with a couple hours Tuesday, Thursday, and he's working Tuesday, Thursday. And year-end budgets are due, and marketing plans for 2021 are due, and I don't have time to learn TikTok, and Amazon delivered everything, and year-end taxes, and. So what was your advice this morning, Kristy? Because you really talked me off a proverbial cliff.
I was just saying that, this year has just been a challenge. I was laughing this because we when we originally conceived of this podcast, which was back in February, which is when we first started doing it. This is before COVID happened. We were going to be doing a 3 time a week podcast. So we still call this, our Scrum session document, shared document is still MWF. It's still Monday, Wednesday,
Friday. Optimist Daily Monday, Wednesday, Friday update.
But we've been doing this now 5 days a week for the majority of this year. And I know that I've been thinking of all the things I need to get done, that I have to get done in relation to the World Business Academy, which is the other part of my main job, in relation to my family and all the presents and all of this. And I just feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves, Summers. And that was the thing that I was saying to you, is that it's okay to not be productive. It's okay to not be efficient and to just like chill. Just chill. It's okay. And
it's okay.
One thing I've been thinking about is there's so much pressure to produce, to be efficient. But what you give up in that, the trade-off, is the resiliency that you get from just having extra space in your heart and in your mind and in your day. And what that resiliency does, what that extra space does, it means that you can respond to a crisis if there is one, a real one, or you can just spend a little extra time with your daughter and give her extra hugs, or your husband, or your friends, and just be available. And, just being available even to yourself. Did you see the Saturday Night Live skit that I
did. It was fantastic.
In the robe. Oh my gosh. I was laughing so hard with that. And I just so identified with that. But I really think that we just put so much pressure on ourselves, Summers. And it may be this because we're both professional women who also have families and we're trying to juggle that. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to breathe a little bit and to not get everything done. So what I was saying, the metaphor I was using is we're on the off season right now.
Yeah.
We're just trying to, just not get injured so that we can come back next year super strong.
Yeah, what I love about that metaphor, the off-season metaphor, is that then we were joking about injuries, and you were like, so let's not bust our Achilles.
Yeah.
And I have this
stupid pickup game.
Yeah, during a stupid pickup basketball game, let's not blow our Achilles. And I have this habit, and as a leader, as a mom, as just an individual, when I decide we're doing something, it is full bore. even occasionally if not ready for it. So whether it is running a marathon and I actually mean running a marathon or joining a tennis league and I am super prone to injury because I don't take the time to really prep for physical activities. I just jump right in. And I loved that reminder because this is actually the time of year where I am most likely to physically get hurt and have done things like broken my neck and ruptured my Achilles and had an appendectomy. And, it's just, this is my time of year. And I just love that reminder that, during the off season or during times where there's just a lot going on, you're just kind of training to stay healthy. And so for the Optimist Daily, we're training to keep the business healthy and to re-envision what our marketing plan looks like going forward. And we don't have to have touchdowns or score points right now. We just need to stay healthy. And I actually think that's a great metaphor for everybody as we get through this next 10 days of holiday season, as we move into the new year, is let's just stay healthy. Let's just take care of ourselves and, set goals for 2021, but don't try to prove anything right now. Just don't break things.
Yeah. And I really think moving into this next year, which, by the way, January 1st is just another date. It's not like things magically transform. Right? Yeah. That's just an invention. It's an arbitrary mark on the calendar in some ways. But I think that next year, the focus really ought to be on healing in all the different ways. Because one of the things I know I've been experiencing a lot this year is just the sense of loss and the things that we've had to give up. And whether that is actual loss with loss of jobs, loss of income, loss of loved ones, loss of health. I mean, These are things that all of us are facing. And then also loss of our close personal relationships. I mean, those are things that are changed, so how do we come back and heal from this? And so instead of just focusing on like treatment, but let's focus on healing.
Mm-hmm. And just planning for healing and caretaking. And I love it. And that's, obviously you guys listen to the Optimist Daily update to hear the solutions that we publish on the Optimist Daily. But I think sometimes, Kristy, your solutions are the wisest. So So thank you to everybody who participated in and listened to our fantastic interview with Ione Butler yesterday. I just want to do a quick reminder shout out. If you didn't hear that episode, please go back and listen. It was a beautiful conversation, and we are delighted to bring Ione into the Optimist Daily ethos. And in 2021, or the ambiguous construct of the future, we will be having a lot more great interviews like that. So props to the team for putting that together. And thank you, Ione, for participating.
And you can find that on the December 21st episode of
Yes. I love it. It's our solstice episode. So what's hitting the inspiration button for you today on the December 22nd episode of the Optimist?
The particular article that I wanted to highlight is about redesigning mall spaces, which, as we all know, retail is a whole different world in the retail world, right? Malls are not something that are going to survive very much in the next period, as in the Saturnian world that we're moving into, right? And so this headline is: an architecture firm reimagines the mall as green community space. And we're talking specifically about an architectural firm located in Bangkok. The firm is called Architect Kid. And it's recently completed its first transformational project that reimagines the mall as a green community space. Its Mega Park is a new nature-focused retail connection located in Bangkok. And the idea is to break down that barrier between human world and built space and natural world and natural space, and really acknowledge that we are a part of nature, just like the green, and we need that. It's sort of this systemic part of the ecosystem, and bringing that natural life into a shopping world. And yes, maybe this is just another idea of retail therapy, but I think putting the shopping mall into contact with the natural world and encouraging visitors to go outside and enjoy a richly programmed public park can really help to heal our communities and maybe repurpose that real estate, which, if you look at our American cities and just the blighted malls that are all over our urban
Right.
centers. I mean, this has been like the final nail in the coffin of retail, of brick and mortar
Of
retail.
brick and mortar retail, which it's been such a struggle for organizations to re-envision their business models. And then through organizations like Amazon and other major online retailers, there's just been a disconnect between the two buying experiences. And it's kind of been one of those situations where the railroad companies were in the railroad business as opposed to the transportation business. And
Right.
we've watched this over the years, and it's really come to a head. The pandemic has brought it to its final death knell, I think, as it were.
So this is just one example of a mall that is trying to bring this in. This is located in Bangkok. I think last year, 2 years ago, we talked about another one which was being re-envisioned. And if you think about all these like empty parking lots that are attached to these big box stores, I mean, those would be great places for community gardens, maybe. We could really reinvigorate, rewild those spaces and make them more habitable in a regenerative kind of way. So that's why I like this story. Go read it. The envision pictures are pretty interesting. And so I just like this one. And
I'm now imagining elephants wilding parking lots somehow. One of my personal goals has always been to have enough capital to participate in funding an elephant preserve. So now I'm going to look for an old mall that needs to be turned into a green space for elephants. It'll be amazing.
Maybe that might be a little not enough space, but maybe there's elephant mice you can reintroduce.
Speaking of re-envisioning smaller spaces and creating more effective use of smaller spaces, my story is also in this vein. The headline reads, "One of Europe's largest vertical farms harvests its first crops." Now, vertical farming is definitely the future of agriculture. It's a way of shortening the distance between farm to table for urban areas that are not close to large-scale agricultural constructs. And the increasing number of large-scale projects across the world are simply proof that the future is morphing to the present on that one. One of Europe's largest vertical farms, built by the Yes Health Group and Nordic Harvest, started taking shape in April at Europe's largest wholesale market near Copenhagen in Denmark, in Grottevet. Anyway, pronunciation aside. Basically, it was 14 stories, 7,000 square meters, with the intention of an output of 200 tons of produce annually initially, with scaling up to 1,000 tons per year. Basically, this vertical farm is making salads, herbs, baby spinach, mint, basil, cilantro. Don't get jealous, Kristy. And they're planted across several floors, protecting from the harsh weather conditions. So maybe indoor cilantro growing is your future. Mm-hmm. Nutrients are sourced in-house. There's a biofertilizer. It is just a fantastic example of vertical farming, increasing productivity, and being able to have more varied and healthy options in, an environment where that might not normally grow. The water is refiltered. It's just circular in every way possible. We love this story. And the first harvest will be used for local commercial kitchens, but it will soon be going to produce for supermarkets in the area. So I'm excited for this. I love the idea of vertical farming. We have near the Optimist Daily's headquarters, as they used to be when there were headquarters, there is a hotel that has vertical farming in its yard. And Kristy and I used to love walking around in that and being inspired by their work. So I just think this is really exciting. I love agriculture that doesn't envision a future of huge dirt-covered wastelands with tractors pulling back and forth, spreading dust bowls and just pillaging soil, but instead kind of coming up with new ways of creating highly productive, highly nutritious food for our world. And I'm sure elephants like vertical farming too. Well, that's my theme for today, even though it's nonsensical.
No, it's fun. And I think it's the time of year we have to imagine elephants wandering around in our malls. Exactly. And maybe some giraffes and camels and just make everything.
Yeah. Also, things to get excited about on the Optimist Daily today. There is a head story about American cities that are paying $10,000 to move there. Deb Haaland is slated to be the first Native American Interior Secretary. There are 3 gifts that don't cost a penny, and they are, in fact, the best things in life. Those are very meaningful. Synthetic palm oil could significantly reduce deforestation. Our palm oil addiction as a world definitely needs to be mitigated. There are new characters on Sesame Street, and these are refugees. Their names, what are their names? The 2 newest Muppet characters are twin 6-year-old refugees named Noor and Aziz, and they're darling. Weather report for your brain, new advances in predicting seizures, and why you should still set goals for 2021. We'll talk more about that at the beginning of the year. And let's see, just a couple more.
The first CRISPR gene editing patients are showing continued positive progress. And this is something we've been talking about, Victoria Gray, and I'm really interested to see how this new treatment can really transform sickle cell anemia sufferers. And so this is going to be very exciting there. And that is it for today's Optimist Daily. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We are going to be shifting our schedule just a little bit over the next week and a half, over the Christmas, New Year holiday period. So we'll be here tomorrow, but then we'll be sharing some of our favorite interviews from the year in the following week. But thank you, everybody who's listening today and tomorrow. And we really hope that you're hanging in there and just taking a little bit of a break and giving yourself a break. And in the meantime, we're going to keep sharing these positive solution-based stories with ideas on how you can participate in this world as it changes to help ensure it is changed for the good. And we promise to keep covering current events with accuracy, legitimate sources, and offering you the information needed most to chart new paths for all of us.
Last-minute holiday gifts, you know what I'm going to say. Become an emissary on theoptimistdaily.com for just $5 a month, or share it with a loved one. It means a lot to us, and it will mean a lot to them. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.